Everybody, welcome to another episode. I'm Connor with Honor. We're going to be talking to Tim Slominski, local lender, great friend, fantastic individual when it comes to loans and lending. And today we're going to be talking about loans that really, not that they're not on the beaten path, but not a lot of people talk about them. But these are loans that you might be able to get into for zero money down when you're buying residential real estate. And it's not some kind of a farce or some kind of a trick or any of those sorts of things. It actually does apply. Real estate market has changed quite a bit over the last several months. We're getting right into that spring and summertime. And of course, that is the hottest time of the year, at least in our local market here in Santa Clarita in Southern California. Always seems to happen that way. But before any more pausing, I will bring Tim on the show. Here he is, and let him talk a little bit about what he does, who he is, and then we'll get into the show today. How are you, Tim?
I'm doing great, Connor. How are you?
Very, very good. You look really fresh. Is there anything you want to tell the folks? Are you with friends and family, maybe?
Well, I decided to take a little vacation. I'm actually in a town called Tavares, Florida right now, connecting with high school classmates that I haven't seen. One reminded me it was only 51 years. Tells you a little bit about me. I'm a little bit older than most of your lenders in the marketplace, but
At least 56 then, if that's a
yeah.
school chum. Yeah, got it.
But no, I'm just down here connecting with some friends, meeting with one of my realtor partners that I do business with in Florida on Sunday, and meeting a couple clients I've helped buy homes here in Florida. So I'm making it a vacation business trip.
That's fantastic. A lot of people are talking about loans and lending, and I always say that the best first steps before you, even sometimes before you call your agents, talk to a qualified lender and see what you're qualified for. Because I know, at least with me, when I go look at stuff that's way above my pay grade or price range, and then I have to step back from that, it's very depressing. So I would rather get that number up front from a lender. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's very important, our industry, you become a student of your business. I had the opportunity to become both a realtor and a lender. I can't do both. I'm a mortgage guy. My specialty is numbers. I know how to put what I call a square peg in a round hole because in today's marketplace, that's what it is. What we used to know, we don't know anymore. The industry has changed. The market has changed. So you have to be a specialist. I don't want to know your sandbox because that's what you specialize in. You know how to do that. I know how to do the loans. So I stay in my own little sandbox in that area.
You see those, I know you've seen this. I see this a lot. I know you have too in your business, but when somebody comes to me and then they have an offer written on one of my sellers listings and they happen to be a lender as well. So they're doing both. And then, once we talk to the people, and I guess I have examples of people coming to me that seem to be speaking one type of language. So, and it's not English. So they'll come to me years later through their kids, and their kids happen to be on the job on the police department. This has happened more than once. That's why it's interesting to talk about. So the parents are Spanish speaking only, the kids, LAPD cops, right? And they're telling me how their parents' last experience with buying and selling the house that they want me to sell for them. And it turns out that their agent was also their lender, and when we start talking to the parents, it's translating, and I figure out what these numbers look like, to sell the house plus an additional bunch of money on the lending side of it. I mean, 80, $90,000 in fees for, 600,000 house in Pacoima just blew my mind. And it seems to be the rule of thumb when you have, well, that's a different kind of crime, but having somebody doing the lending and the real estate, you're right, having that craft dialed in, it almost doesn't seem right to me.
Well, I've been very fortunate in because when you work with me, you're not a number. I first started lending in the Santa Clarita Valley. I used to advertise in the money mailer. And my tagline is, are you tired of the 1-800 loan guy? The 1-800 loan guy is the person that you don't get to know. Well, I know my clients. I'm invited to parties. I'm invited to their homes. I'm welcomed in their homes. And I know their children. I'm so blessed today that I'm actually doing loans for their kids.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
it.
have
That's
one
it.
client that years ago, I met him and we started talking where he was in Europe and I'm negotiating with him on the phone on his loan. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, while he was in Germany, I was on the phone with him. He goes, "Well, why should I be doing business with you?" "Because I'm on the phone with you at 2 o'clock in the morning." But what he did with me was I was going over all the paperwork and he asked me a specific question. "Tim, what does on the third page, the second paragraph, the third sentence mean?" "Well, that's just boilerplate." And he stopped me, he said, "Tim, if you continue to do business with me, you will know those answers." So now when I've done his children's loans, I send the paperwork, I'm going, "Okay, get your legal pad, get your list, let's go through the questions." So you have to become that person. Just don't gloss it over. Just go into detail, answer the questions, take the
Yeah,
time.
they'll if they don't want to hear anymore, down. But yeah, engineers are very much like that. They read every jot and tittle in every document that they're sending. Some of those the people that do the escrow paperwork signing, those professional signers, the people that do the loan docs and stuff, when they're dealing with the engineers, they're in there for hours. I
Mhm.
mean, it's horrible. Okay, so this is what we're going to talk about today, and you brought it up, and I thought it was a great subject. USDA loans. And every time you say that to me and I hear about it in the marketplace or even talk to clients about it, I'm thinking steak. I'm thinking something good to eat, high in protein, something that you might find at Costco or Sam's Club in the exclusive meat department. What is a USDA loan? And is it just for everybody or are properties located just in rural areas? Tell us about it.
Well, USDA stands for the United States Department of Agriculture. Okay. And it's designed for rural or metropolitan areas. Now, the loan is 100% financing. Oh my God, what happened? 100% financing.
So
In
like a
Los
VA,
Angeles,
like in
yes,
some respects would be for a veteran, they get it. If you can get all those costs covered either by the seller or lender or agent or whomever it can come from, then they can pretty much buy this for zero down. Same thing with USDA.
that is correct. So here's an example. In Los Angeles County, the loan limit is $914,000. Now there's income limitations. In Los Angeles County, the overall income for the family is $216,000. Well, golly, you can buy a pretty nice home for that. Well, there's a property that I'm actually doing a loan for. The listing agent did an amazing job. It's 43 acres in Castaic. Wow. But it has a home that was built in 1912. And in
Oh, it's got to be
1950,
small.
it's
Yeah,
612 square feet, one
but
bedroom,
it
one bath.
works. Wow.
Now, the agent did all the research, and that's the beauty of working with an agent, the one that is the student of the business. They found the permit that was drawn in 1953 and signed off by LA County. So this property is now qualifies for a USDA loan. So I'm able to do 100% financing. The person's going to get 43 acres of land that he grew up in that area. He's going to be able to raise his kids there. That's the beauty of the product. Now, it does have mortgage insurance and it does have a funding fee. Now, the funding fee is only 1% of the loan amount, and the mortgage insurance is half of what FHA mortgage insurance is. So it's much better loan, and also the interest rate is better than your conventional rate because it's subsidized by the government.
Some people don't want to get 43 acres.
Yes.
And if it's in Castaic, 43 acres, there's probably not much by that particular property. Some people like to live in maybe not so rural. Is it also offered other types of properties? Is it by zip code maybe? Or because I'm thinking USD, I think you got to have some cows out there so you can get some steak out of it. I'm still falling back. Regular
Well,
people property?
it's not truly in a metropolitan. If you're, let's say, in the tract, it's not USDA. It's so if you're driving up San Francisco Road, Let me turn that off.
Uh,
If you're
San Francisco Road.
So you go up Sanford Road, it could be on a property that's an acre. Okay, it doesn't have to
Okay.
be a lot of land. It is zip
Aqua
confined to the
Dulce in
property.
Acton, maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
So you could put in that in, and there's a website, the USDA website, and you can look it up and it'll tell you if it qualifies in that area. So there's really some great advantages of it, but it allows you to buy a home 100% financing, which is fabulous today.
Are they, do they septic? Do those ever cause issues with that type of loan?
Well, you have to have septic. It's going to be the
Okay.
same kind of appraisal as you would have with an loan, USDA loan. You can't have water. It's also
You
going to
can or you can't?
can't.
Cannot. Okay.
Yeah.
That was
So you also, with that property, it's going to have the same restrictions as FHA and VA loan, where safety issues, broken windows, peeling paint, same kind of things that get called out in a standard appraisal. Everybody thinks that, oh my God, I'm FHA or a VA loan. It's going to be all the same today. Everything is designed health and safety.
makes sense. Tell me about with the USDA loan, what should for that? What you mentioned some of those numbers, but break it down a little bit. What's the qualification space look like?
Minimum credit score is 600.
Okay.
W-2 employees, self-employed, who has income. So if you're self-employed, we'd take a look at your business tax returns for the last 2 years. W-2 employee, we will take into account your hourly rate, your overtime in calculation income. So it's still traditional loan. It's just different name.
And that property mortgage, you said it's the insurance on the property mortgage, the PMI, it's half the cost, somewhere thereabouts, from an FHA type
That is
financing.
correct.
Oh, so you're getting even a better deal there. Is there any other requirements to the loan itself? Is there a minimum time you have to be in the property? Do you have to have loan length on it, any of those sorts of things?
Well, it would be a straight your fixed rate mortgage.
Okay.
It has to be a residency. It can also be a construction loan. Okay.
Oh, so the Castaic, that's not a 600 square foot house, isn't going to do much for a family of more than one. Then
Right.
there it'd be difficult. So there's on that whole acreage, I bet you there's probably places to build as well. The agent finding that permit.
Right. Well, and the
I
interesting
see.
part about the construction loan with USDA is with a manufactured home. Okay. Now,
Okay.
it will be a financing a manufactured home with permits. So you find the home, the seller who does all the permitting and everything for the county, but they will lend up to $250,000 for the land. So let's say you found a piece of property that was $250,000 that is qualified for USDA. You can buy that 100% financing and put a manufactured home on that property. Okay, qualifies for 100% financing. So
Land and the home.
the land, the dirt itself, $250,000.
Okay.
Okay, the manufactured home could be $500,000. So it could be an overall loan of $750,000. So 100% financing.
Okay, so what kind of is required to make that work?
Well, the client who is buying property, or the realtor that's working with the client. So you find the land for them. I want to build. Okay, well, the only thing that USDA will allow to do right now is manufactured homes. They will not allow stick-built homes yet. There's some negotiation going on. So right now they will go with that because of the quality construction that a manufactured home has. There's very, very restrictive in the construction of it. So
The area would have to allow a manufactured home to be there first off from the
correct,
restrictions. So
Correct.
then the land is found for that. If the land falls in the USDA jurisdiction, then they are permits and all those items necessary prior to getting the entire loan approved. I guess it would be, right? You need all the numbers.
You would have to have all the permits and everything in place. Now, how does that work? Your manufactured home dealer does all that. So, you would want to, a realtor, have a connection with a manufactured home builder. Okay.
Does curious, here's one for you. So Val Verde, which is I guess same zip code as Castaic, is that area USDA?
Doing one in Val Verde right now.
Oh my God, your phone's gonna be ringing off the hook. Yeah, because
Well,
there's a lot of out there that I
mhm.
believe they don't have a lot of restrictions. That's fantastic.
Well, and the thing about a lot of the properties are smaller parcels. They could be a 5,000 square foot parcel tied under the land. This one particular one I'm doing right now is 4 parcels where the home is, and it's only the lot itself, combined lot, is 27,000 square feet. So when you're asking about acreage and things like that, it doesn't have to be 40 acres. It could be a half acre. So
Yeah, that's
it is
fantastic.
zip code driven. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. Tell me, these things are normal. So once you have, whether it's something that already has a structure there, already has the improvement with the land that falls into that, and let's say everything's done, how long does it take to close these? Is it a typical 30-day escrow? Does it take longer sometimes?
From what my investors are saying, we really like to have a 60-day escrow.
Oh, okay.
Now, the interesting part about it
Yeah.
is this, okay? The manufactured home does not be on the property at close of escrow. Because it is a construction loan, you have 11 months from the time you close escrow to time of taking occupancy. So if we buy and you're doing a manufactured home, you have 11 months to complete that whole process.
And that's easy to do. That would be easy to do, even probably with just regular construction, but we're doing manufactured home only with
Right.
this particular
And
scenario.
And the payments that you're making are in the first 11 months are interest only. So
Okay.
your full mortgage payment doesn't take effect until you get the certificate of occupancy from the county.
And then it just takes on a normal 30-year fixed mortgage, at
Right.
whatever interest rate you do in the beginning.
Correct.
Oh, that's fantastic, Tim. I will what I'll do is a website from you and I'll be able to incorporate this into SantaClaritaOpenHouses.com and I'll put your show there so people can at least look and have that particular resource to go to, plus all of your contact information. So
Well,
for
thank you.
anybody considering maybe using this loan, do you have a few tips that they might want to consider prior to getting into it?
Um, the first tip anybody looking for a home is meet with the lender. Decide if it's someone, and I use this line all the time, decide if it's someone you want to have over for dinner, because it's very important that you have that relationship. And same thing as a realtor, that we listen to you. We listen to your wants and needs, but also too, if the direction I'm giving you is not comfortable, it has to be a good fit no matter what. So get pre-qualified. Make sure that if you have any questions, and I say this all the time, there's not a question that's stupid. And people taken back by that. What do you mean stupid? Well, any question you have that you don't ask is stupid. You have to know. So if you have a question, have a relationship with your realtor or your lender that you could pick up the phone on a Sunday and say, "Hey, Connor, I had a question." Be
People so
available.
undervalue that. Yeah. People undervalue that, Tim. I have people right now that, I talk to them and everybody I talk to, you really got to talk to Tim, but some are dug in with the credit union because they feel some loyalty. And this is what the police credit union, not slamming them, but, to try to get answer the phone, you won't even have their cell phone number, but this is their lenders, but try to get them good luck Saturday night at 5 p.m. And then people say, why is that important? Because you might have found the one, and it might be a little different than you expected. Maybe the Melrose taxes are a little different than you gave the lender. Maybe the HOA is a little bit more or less something, but you need to talk to them because you're going to write an offer and it can't wait till Monday because there's going to be a lot of activity on the property. They need somebody they can pick up on like you when you're in Florida. It's 7 o'clock Pacific time. We started this. You're doing this show with me and you're available, but you're, the country away from me. Incredible.
Well, it's funny that you say that. Last evening, I got it from one of my realtor partners. Hey, we're putting an offer in on this property and need to get my pre-approval letter. I said, okay, give me a half hour. 10:30 East Coast time, I was sending out the pre-approval letter.
Of course. I have no doubt.
Yes, it's those like I'm looking at my watch. Oh, I'm actually looking at my watch right now. I'm still on California time, and Mickey says it's 7:30. So it's definitely you have to be
Yeah,
available.
us will be if you're not.
Well, do I need to lunch? No, I need you to be available when I call you.
That's right. Very, very
Exactly.
good. Tim, I appreciate it more than you know. Thank you for coming on about the USDA loan. And I will put your information as always. Anything in closing you would like to say?
My favorite tagline is this: knocks on your door daily. Answer it.
Very good. I appreciate it, brother, for coming on. Thank you very much.
Have an amazing day, my friend.
You
Talk to
as
you
well.
later.
Talk to you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Tim Slominski, lender, just fantastic, and not just locked into the Santa Clarita Valley, but everywhere else in the country. If it's a place he can either refer it, or do it across the United States and even the world, he has more connections than, well, anything else, but he has a lot of connections. Just fantastic individual. Thank you for watching today's show. I am Connor with Honor. You'll be able to see the entire thing up at Santa Clarita openhouses.com. I appreciate it more than you know. Have a fantastic day, everybody. We will see you in the next one.